Hi friends, and welcome to Keto with Libby. I am Libby, and if you are new to my channel, welcome. If you are old to my channel, it is wonderful to see you back here. Today, I am going to be talking about the keto mistakes that I have made and the keto mistakes I feel like a lot of people have made. I feel like some of these are pretty common across the board. So let's jump into it. The last one is probably the best piece of advice I can give you and the biggest mistake that most people make. So stay tuned for that one. So the first one is me calling myself out here. So I started keto in October of 2020 and right before the holidays, right before Halloween, oh my gosh, all of it, Thanksgiving, everything. And I had to make a lot of keto sweet treats to stay on track. And while I think it was necessary and it did the job, it worked, I stayed on track the whole time, I kind of got stuck in that rut of, oh, I want this, let me go make it, instead of kind of cutting back on the artificial sweeteners and the almond flours and things like that and focusing on more whole foods. I definitely let a lot more sweet treats and substitutes in. Now, I do think they have their place. While you are going through the phase of fat adaptation, I really think that we do need to add in more of the fat bombs, more of the sweet treats, so we don't feel like we're torturing ourselves while we're starting it. And being fat adapted could take up to a month, up to 2 months. It really depends on the person. So I do think that the sweet treats and the substitutes have a place. The next one is something not a lot of us think about, but it's really important, is protein. Not eating enough protein. We all think that we need to eat these high amounts of fat, and that's what's going to help us in keto. And yes, fat does help. I have a whole video on it. I will link to it above. But we miss protein, and protein is an essential part of our body and our structure of the body. And if we are not hitting our protein as a goal every day, we can have hair loss, we can have muscle loss, increased fatigue, imbalance of fluids. I mean, it is such an important macro that we need to hit, and it gets missed out a lot. It helps with our muscle building, our bones, the structure of our body, our hair, our nails, and protein is so essential. So please make sure you're hitting protein as a goal, using fat as a lever for when you're hungry, and stopping at those 20 to 30 grams of carbs a day. Next one is all about water and electrolytes. Not drinking enough water and not replenishing electrolytes. When we are in ketosis, we are flushing out water and we are not retaining as much water because our cells aren't holding onto it. They are just dumping it. And we need to replenish that, as well as electrolytes. If we're not retaining as much, we're not retaining as much electrolytes, and those are sodium, potassium, and magnesium. So have you ever heard of the keto flu? A lot of times the keto flu happens because we are deficient on our electrolytes. And what I do to get my electrolytes in every single day is I just take a supplement in the morning with my first glass of water. I have tried 3 or 4 different ones. I will link them down below. The ones that I'm liking right now are called LMNT. They just taste really good. They don't have like the sweetness that some of the other ones I have tried have. It just feels like I am getting all of the electrolytes that I need. Number 4, not paying attention to ingredients. And I am so guilty of this for like the longest time. The first time I did keto, I used Splenda. I didn't care if it had dextrose in it, if it had all the other names for sugar, maltitol, maltodextrin. I really didn't care. I mean, if it was keto, if I felt fine eating it, I ate it. And you guys, that stalled me so much. Not paying attention to ingredients has really stalled me a lot. Like with the veggie tots that you can get in the freezer section, the low carb wraps that I talked about earlier, like those things have ingredients in them that can kick you out of ketosis, stall you. They can just really put you behind. And I didn't quite get that until I did my 30 days of carnivore, which I will link to that playlist above. There's 4 videos in it. But when I took everything out besides the animal products, I felt so good. And then I started slowly adding things back in. And you guys, I felt like crap when I would eat the low carb wraps, the veggie tots, the breads, all of those things. I felt like crap. Now, I have told you guys over this summer, I have let myself have a few more of those because it's summertime. I'm still on keto, whatever. Do what works best for you. But I do not feel as good. I do not lose as much weight if I am not paying attention to ingredients, making sure there's none of those hidden sugars, none of those hidden flours, those oils, things that aren't great for us. Just pay attention to the ingredients, focus on the whole foods, the nutrient-dense foods. I know I said that already, but I mean, that is really like the biggest piece of advice I can give you throughout this whole video to avoid these mistakes is just focus on the whole natural nutrient-dense foods and you'll be set. And the last one, I have made this mistake time and time again, and I know many people make this mistake time and time again with anything in life, but specifically with keto, and that is consistency. Not being consistent, giving up weekly. I am 100% guilty of it. I would stop and start keto literally every single week for like a year before I actually hunkered down and was like, no, you need to do this. I was not consistent with it. I did not give keto its best shot. So what my best piece of advice for you is be consistent with keto. I am not talking 1 month. I am not talking 2 months. I'm talking like 3 to 6 months here. Give yourself your best shot on this lifestyle and be consistent with it for at least 3 months and see how much your life changes. Just see how much you have changed, what you can do, and how amazing you feel. I know a lot of people do keto for the 30 days. You're not at that point even fat adapted. You are probably in ketosis, but your body is still doing a lot of adaptation to be able to run fully on your fat. And I don't think 1 month is enough. I don't think that is giving it its best shot, and I don't think it's giving you your best shot. So I would even say, I know this is daunting to some people because it would have been daunting to me to hear someone say, you need to stay strict keto for 3 to 6 months. But here's my reasoning behind it. I had this pivotal moment in my journey at around 6 months. I was always under the impression that I was going to lose the weight, be done with keto, go back to my old way of eating, and be happy, dandy, whatever. At around 6 months, something in my mind was like, that doesn't make sense. Why would I do that? I have been eating keto consistently for 6 months. It makes me feel great. I have lost weight. Yes, it has been a roller coaster. It has not just been total weight loss, all the way downward trajectory, but I have learned so much about my relationship with food, how to fuel my body properly, how to eat properly, and just focus on whole natural foods. What is so wrong with that? And I am no, I'm not gonna go back to my old way of eating. That is just doing myself a disservice and not learning anything from this journey if I do that. So around that time is when I had that pivotal moment, which is why I say be consistent with keto for at least 3 months, at least, and then up to 6 months, and then see how you feel, reevaluate your situation. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. I greatly appreciate you being here. I do have a question for all of you. What is the biggest mistake you have made on keto? I would say my biggest mistake is making way too many sweet treats all the time for the first 5-6 months. So that is my biggest mistake. I want to know yours. So thank you so much for being here. I greatly appreciate it, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.